Most of the country drives through Oklahoma. That's the only thing you know about it. You get on the interstate somewhere east, you come off it somewhere west, and the 8 hours in between are something you get past. I spent this week off that road. What I found is land. Not yards, but massive plots of land. 20 acres of oak timber with ponds in the back. 22 acres on a ridgeline. 9.5 acres of Ouachita foothills that comes with a cabin. And you'll see later that there's a place with 7 acres, a 100-foot barn, 4 bedrooms, and a storm shelter, and the number on it is under 50 grand. Stay with me for that one. I read it twice. I'm Tony. I run the numbers before I show you anything because a cheap house that costs you money is not cheap. Subscribe so you can see these before anyone else does. 8 properties, and we're going from most expensive to cheapest. From a distance, this one looks like a single clearing in a solid sheet of oak timber. There's a roof, there's cut grass around it, and then the trees close back in on every side. Off to the east, a pond sits half covered in green, the kind of water that's been there long enough to grow its own frogs. The drive comes in off a county road and runs a long way before it gets anywhere. Here's where this sits. Welch has about 1,000 people in the far northeast corner of Oklahoma, and this property is 15 minutes outside of it. The 15-minute drive's not a drawback. It's the whole deal about this thing. 20 acres means you're in control about who you get to see. No one else decided it for you. Now the house, and this is where it gets strange. Walk in the door and the floors stun you. Red oak, wide and glowing, running through every room like somebody finished them last month. Recessed lighting in the ceilings. Fresh white walls with one deep blue accent wall in the bedroom, built-in shelving beside the closet. The laundry room is already done. Washer, dryer, water heater, tiled floors, white shelves stacked with dishes. Someone lived a pretty good life here. Then you get to the kitchen. New white cabinets installed on the whole wall, a deep double sink, a navy island, black open shelving. But no countertops, and that's the bummer. Just plywood where the stone or the laminate is supposed to go. That's the story of this house. The inside got finished first, and they just never got around to the outside. The siding is half old yellow lap board and half raw vertical panel. The roof edge is open with a tarp stretched over the entry. There's freshly poured concrete steps at the front door that don't go with anything around it. I'll be straight with you. You're buying siding, a roof, and countertops. Think about that honestly before you fall in love with the floors. But there's a little shack back in the trees that nobody talks about. White metal, pitched roof, covered on both sides with a wall of windows and a wooden deck. Inside its green walls, wide old plank floors, built-in shelves and cabinets. It's more finished than the house itself. 20 acres in most of America buys you a lot line and a fence dispute. Here it buys you timber, water, and a second little house you didn't ask for. 1 bedroom, 1 bath, 816 square feet. 20 acres, mostly made of timber. Ponds, storm cellar, second outbuilding, community water, septic, no HOA, $179,900. Somebody started this at the wrong side. The finish work is done, but the shell is waiting, which is backwards, and which is exactly why it's up for that price. The next one dropped $10,000 3 days before I sat down to write this. That's not a stale listing. That's somebody moving. The porch tells you all you need to know about this place before you even see anything. It runs 25 feet along the front, wraps the corner, and it's built out of cedar posts with the bark still in them. The deck boards are stained red-brown. You stand at that rail, and you're looking down a cleared slope into mixed pine and oak, with a ridge line showing through the gap in the trees. Now hold that picture and hear the other number. The house behind that porch is 752 square feet. Whoever built this knew that it wasn't gonna be all about the house. The address matters on this one. Heaveners on the eastern side of Oklahoma, about 3,000 people, right where the ground starts going up into the Ouachita foothills. Podal Mountains 10 minutes away. The town is 8. You've got a grocery store, a school, a hardware run, and 100 miles of off-road trail, hunting ground and hiking country starting more or less at your property line. People here'll tell you about a runestone in the park that some believe the Vikings left. Whether you believe it or now, it tells you the town enjoys itself. Step inside and it's wood on every surface. Yellow pine walls, pine ceilings, open beams running up into a vaulted ceiling over the living room. A small split unit on the wall handles both heating and cooling. The kitchen is small and serious. Oak cabinets on every wall, tile counters, a peninsula bar, stainless steel fridge, range, and hood. There's a separate dinner area with a chandelier and a window full of trees. And then there's the loft. You get to it on a wooden ladder. Not a staircase, but a ladder, and it's built into the wall next to the kitchen. Up there it's low ceilings, carpet, and enough room for 2 beds. That single detail tells you more about this cabin than anything I could give you. Here's the honest part. There's 1 bathroom, and the washer and dryer are in it too. So 752 square feet is a couple, or 1 person and a dog, or a family that uses the outside like it's part of the house. If that sounds like a compromise, this isn't for you at all. If it sounds like a good idea, keep listening. 9.5 acres, 2 parcels, no restrictions, and the seller S taken off $10,000 from asking price 3 days ago. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, 752 square feet. 9.51 acres across 2 parcels, cathedral ceiling, loft, detached carport, storage shed, public water, no restrictions, $149,900. You're not buying this for the square footage. You're buy it for the 25 feet of covered cedar you stand on every evening while the ridge goes dark. Quick one before the next property. Where are you watching this from? Are you in Oklahoma already, or is this a state you've only ever passed through? Tell me below. I read them. The next property has 22 acres and a mountain view, and the building standing on it was never meant to be a house at all. I have to tell you what this building actually is before I describe anything, because if I wait, then everything I say after won't sit right. It's a container home. Dark green corrugated steel, sitting on rusted steel skids, no foundation under it. The whole thing sits on the ground on the beams it was hauled in on. There's a ladder bolted to the side running up to the roof. Inside it's drop ceilings, fluorescent panel lights, commercial vinyl tile with blue accent squares, navy office carpet in the bedrooms. This was a field office once, but somebody dragged it up a ridge in LaFleur County and decided that it could be a house too. Now, is it enough house for you? That's the only real question here, and I'll come back to it. Let me put this on the map. The parcel sits above Wister, in the eastern Oklahoma hill country, where the Ouachitas Mountain runs down toward the Arkansas line. Wister itself is around 2,000 people, 13 minutes away, with lakes and state park land close in every direction. From the back of this property, the ground falls away and you're looking at mountains. That view's not a bonus feature. On 22 acres of sloped, wooded, barbed wire fenced ground, you're mostly paying just for the view. Inside, the systems are real. Central heat, central air, an electric water heater, a working kitchen with oak cabinets, a range, and a peninsula. 3 bedrooms, 1 full bath and a half bath. A tiled shower stall. It's clean, dry, and every single room has the ceiling height and the lighting of a job site trailer, because that's what it was built as. Here's the honest part, and it's the big one. There is no public electric service to this property. The people before ran it on a generator. There's still one sitting in its box by the water heater. So you're not buying a house you move into. You're buying 22 acres with a solid dry structure already standing on it and a utility conversation ahead of you. Sold as is. Know which buyer you are before you call this one. If you want a home, this is a project with a hard first step. If you want a hunting base, a weekend cabin, or a piece of ground to build your off-grid life on with shelter already in place, the hardest part of that plan is finished and it's ready to go. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 960 square feet, 22.31 acres, fenced and wooded, mountain views, metal roof, well and septic, no public electric, sold as is, no HOA, $110,000. The house is not the argument on this one. The ridge is the argument, and it isn't going anywhere. The next property is the first one on this list where somebody actually finished something, and they finished the weirdest half of it. I walked through this one twice in my head before I understood what I was looking at. First the floors, then the walls, then back to the floors. Every room in this house has brand new carpet. Gray, speckled, not a footprint on it. The bathroom is entirely new tub, new surround, new vanity, new toilet, new flooring. The kitchen floor is new dark plank vinyl. And the walls in every one of those rooms are vertical wood paneling that hasn't been touched since somebody nailed it up 60 years ago. Cream in one room, honey oak in the next, dark brown in the dining room, textured ceilings, brass fans. That's not neglect. That's a decision about where the money goes first, and in this house the money went to the surfaces you stand on and wash in before the ones you look at. Now the town. Enid's the ninth largest city in Oklahoma, 51,000 people, built on wheat and held up since by Vance Air Force Base. An hour and a half to Oklahoma City. It's got a hospital, colleges, a historic downtown, and real jobs. This is the only genuine city on this entire list, and this house is inside it on 2 lots on a quiet street under old trees. That comes with a number I'm not gonna skip. Enid's property crime score is 55.2. The national average is 35.4. Drive through the street at different hours and make your own call before you sign anything. Inside, the surprise is the kitchen. White cabinets run along one whole wall and keep going up to the ceiling, with a double sink, a dishwasher, a gas range, and a pass-through window. In a 2-bedroom house from 1920, a kitchen that size isn't a kitchen. That's where the family actually lived. The bedroom has a built-in closet with original wood drawers and shelving inside it. The dining room has a glass front built-in hutch, the kind of piece people pull out of old houses and sell. Both came with the house. You can't add any of that today for anything close to this money. The family room opens through a sliding glass door onto a wood deck and a green backyard. I'll tell you what's still waiting. The siding and the roof haven't been done. The paneling is as is until you decide. 1 bathroom for 1,300 square feet. This is a house somebody got halfway through, and halfway through is not that bad. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, 1,315 square feet, 2 lots. Major remodel in 2025. New carpet, new bath, new kitchen floor, central heat, public water and sewer. No HOA, $67,676. You're buying a house in a working American city for less than the price of a new truck, and the parts your feet touch are already done. The next one is where this list turns. Same city, 7 acres, and a building on it that is longer than most people's houses. The barn is 100 feet long. That's the number I want in your head before anything else, because it's the one that changes everything here. 36 feet wide, 100 feet long, concrete floor, steel posts, open timber trusses overhead and light coming in from both ends. Inside you've got workbenches, shelves on the wall, and rooms built in along one side, an office, a vet room, a tack room. It was built as a horse barn and it still feels like one. Where this sits changes the math. You're southeast of Enid, between Enid and Wakamis, outside the city limits on a paved road in the Pioneer School District. Flat Garfield County wheat plains in every direction, the horizon doing the work that trees do everywhere else on this list. Close enough to a real city for a hospital and a hardware store, far enough out that nobody is closer than you want. 7 acres, set up with pipe and cable fencing and pens, a water well, a storm shelter built into the yard, white concrete, hatch flush with the grass, a 15 by 66 shed, a 20 by 20 concrete block building with horse stalls in it, 2 carports. Now the house, and it has more personality than I thought. It's long and low, stone across the bottom half, bright red vertical board across the top half, under new corrugated metal. Inside, the living space opens onto a hand-built island, turquoise, white and dark weathered board, granite across the top, a heavy timber beam overhead, and a stacked stone wall behind it. Somebody made that with their own hands, custom made, and it's the most stunning thing in this house. 4 bedrooms, and 2 of them have their own character, one with a whitewashed plank accent wall and built-in shelves, one in mint green with wide windows onto the field. The bathroom has granite, a vessel sink, travertine tile, and built-in timber shelving. There's a big country utility room with a soaking sink in it, which tells you it's a real farm and not just for show. Here's the honest part, and it's the whole reason it's here. It's an auction. $50,000's not the price, it's the opening bid on the 10th of September in Enid. There's a 3% buyer's premium, 10% down in escrow on the day of the auction, and the minerals don't sell. The ceiling tiles are loose, the front porch frame's open, and the house needs work. Price all of that honestly before the number tricks you. Know what type of buyer you are. If you want horses, cattle, a 4-hour project, or a hobby farm you can actually run, the stuff already built here would cost more to build than the whole property. 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,914 square feet, 7.1 acres, 36 by 100-foot barn, pipe and cable pens, water well, storm shelter, 2 carports. Auction September 10. Opening bid $50,000. You don't find 7 acres and 100 feet of barn at this level of the market. You usually find or the other or none at all. The next listing has 2 houses on it, not a house and a shed. 2 houses, 1 deed, 1 price. There's 2 houses in this listing, not a house and an outbuilding. 2 separate homes on the same 2 acres, on the same deed, sold together but for 1 number. From the air you see the front one white clapboard green roof, deep covered porch on brick piers, and then behind it across the grass, the second one smaller white green roof, its own porch. A gravel drive comes in off the road and runs past both of them. This town has a number in its history. Wewoka is the capital of the Seminole Nation, and in the 1920s, oil pushed it to almost 20,000 people. Today it's just over 3,000. That's not decline exactly, that's a town that was something else for a bit and went back to being itself. The people who sell houses here will tell you about grandmothers who watched sellers dug with a mule and a plow, and they'll tell you it makes them feel good about belonging here. Oklahoma City is an hour and 15 out when you need it. Now walk through the main house and understand what you're looking at. The kitchen has been stripped. Original white cabinets still hang on the walls with their doors open and their shelves empty. You've got an enamel sink sitting in the counter, the floor covering pulled up to the subfloor. In the living room, some of the ceiling has been taken down. You're looking straight up at the joists and timber. The bedrooms have gray-green vertical paneling and bare pine floors, sanded with no finish on them. In one corner, the old floral wallpaper is still showing through. Most people see this and see a wreck. Here's what I see. Demolition's the part of a renovation nobody wants to pay for, nobody enjoys it, and everybody underestimates it. On this house, it's already done, and the renovation materials are sitting there. Underneath is a full basement running the footprint, concrete walls, steel posts, open joists, dry and wide open. A deep porch across the front with a big oak tree beside it. Here's the honest part. The 2 houses aren't being sold separately. You can't live in the main house right now. There's no kitchen, ceilings open, there's no heat and no air. The second house is furnished and needs cleanup and care, and that's the one you'd live in, which is the entire strategy. You live in the finished one, you work on the other one on your own schedule, and the whole time you're doing it, you're not paying rent to anybody. 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, 1,008 square feet, 2 homes on 2.9 acres, full basement, covered porch, renovation materials on site, sold as a package. $45,000, $2 roofs, 1 deed, and nobody standing between you and the work. 4 plaster columns hold up the porch on this house, not posts. Columns, square, capped, poured, and finished, holding a covered porch that runs the entire front of the house. Somebody made that decision in 1945, and nobody has made it since. The porch floor is concrete, the ceiling is wood board, there's a single glass globe light in the middle of it, and a piece of wrought iron railing along the side. The paint is peeling off all of it. It's still standing exactly as built. The town is older than the house. Hominy started in the 1880s as a trading post on the Osage Cattle Trail in the hills of Osage County, and it's around 3,300 people now. Every June, the whole place fills up for the Hominy American Indian Festival, dancing, singing, craftwork in the park. It's a town where the neighbors and the person behind the counter know each other on a first-name basis, and Tulsa is 45 minutes away when you want a city. Step through the front door and you'll see why I stopped on this one. The trim is original and nobody has painted over it. Deep cherry, almost burgundy, running around the door casings, the window frames, and the baseboards of the front rooms. Move to the back and the trim changes to dark green. Those are the colors somebody chose 80 years ago, and they're still on the wood. The front room has a triple window group and a 6-light entry door, and it opens through a wide square passage into the next room with no door between them. The floors are old wood with the finish worn off, and there's tile in the middle rooms. Both bedrooms have original wood panel doors and built-in closets. The kitchen has old white cabinets, a double steel sink, a gas range, and a floor that's been partly pulled up. Here's the honest part, and it's not small. In the back room, the ceiling's taken water, the plaster's gone in patches, and you can see the lath behind it. That means the roof's had a problem, and you'd want to know exactly what and when before you go further. Sold as is. This isn't a weekend of paint, it's a restoration. Which brings me to the number the county keeps. The median home in Hominy runs $81,100. This one's listed at less than half of that, and the seller's already come down 8,000 since July. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, 1,301 square feet, 3 lots, original woodwork, covered front porch with columns, detached garage and shop, public water and sewer. Sold as is, $35,000. The cherry trim and the green trim and those 4 columns are the part money can't put back. Everything else on this house is a schedule and a budget. The last one is the cheapest thing on this list, and the first thing you'll see when you walk in is the ceiling, or rather, what's behind it. Walk in the front door of this house and look up. The ceiling's gone. What's above you is the original lath, narrow wood strips laid tight, the skeleton that's been holding plaster up since 1960. The fan's still hanging from it. In 2 of the 3 main rooms it's like that, wide open, and the fixture still works. Most people see that and close the tab. I want to tell you what that ceiling actually means, but first, where this is. Same town as Property 6, different argument. Wewoka, just over 3,000 people, an hour and 15 from Oklahoma City. Property 6 was about the town's history. This one's about how the town works right now. A place small enough that everybody looks after each other, with a house on a residential street inside the city, on public water and sewer, walkable to what there is. Now the house. From the street it's a white clapboard bungalow with a wide gabled roof, a covered front porch on painted wood posts, decorative iron railing, black shutters and old metal awnings over the windows. Inside, the floors are wide plank pine painted a red-brown that runs through most of the house. In the back bedroom, nobody ever painted, and you can see exactly what that pine looks like underneath, honey-colored, wide, original. One wall in there's original vertical wood paneling. Here's the honest part, and it's the hardest one in this video. The bathroom's been taken apart, the surround is off the wall and stacked on the floor, the sink is broken, the vanity's coming apart, the floor is partly lifted. The kitchen cabinets have no doors, there's no heat and no air. The added room off the back is bare OSB studs showing. You can't live in this house today, not close, but look at what's already been removed. The plaster's down, the flooring's up, the bathroom's gutted, and the pine underneath the paint's intact. That's the demolition bill, and it's paid. Now the math, because this is the one where it matters. $20,000 buys it. Say you put $40,000 into it honestly, bathroom, kitchen, ceilings, mechanical. All in at $60,000. A 2-bedroom in this market rents for $620 a month, which is $7,440 a year. That's 8 years to cover the entire cost of the asset, not the down payment. The asset, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, 1,096 square feet, town lot, covered front porch, original pine floors, public water and sewer, needs full renovation. No HOA, $20,000. $8 years is a long time to be patient. It is a very short time to own something outright. In a country that has spent 40 years telling people that it's not possible anymore. That's Oklahoma. 8 places from 20 acres of oak timber in the northeast corner down to a bungalow in Wewoka you could pay cash for. Here's what I keep coming back to. Every one of these had land or structure attached that'd be the entire price somewhere else. 7 acres and a 100-foot barn, 22 acres with a mountain view, 2 houses on 1 deed. In the markets everybody watches, those aren't discounted, they're unavailable. Not expensive, just impossible to find. And the reason these are still sitting there isn't that nobody wants them. It's that finding them means getting off the interstate, and most people won't. They'll look at the same 6 cities everybody else looks at, decide the country is too expensive, and close the laptop. You didn't do that. You watched 8 listings all the way to a $20,000 house in a town of 3,000 people, which means you're not shopping for a fantasy. You're doing math. Every property is linked in the description, full photos, full details, the agent on each one. Go look for yourself. I'm Tony. Every week I take a different state and run the numbers until the list makes sense. Subscribe so these reach you while the listings are still live. So tell me, which of these 8 would you actually make a call on, and when you picture yourself in it, are you collecting rent, building something to own free and clear, or is this the first house you've ever seriously looked at? Put it below. I'll be reading.